Beneath the blazing lights of the Allianz Stadium in Turin, on a night when the Champions League felt heavier and more historic than ever, Cristiano Ronaldo walked onto the pitch with a purpose that only true legends understand. It wasn't just another match. It wasn't just another knockout tie. It was the night the world would once again witness how a single player can shape destiny, silence doubts, and command respect from even the greatest icons of football, Zinedine Zidane and Gianluigi Buffon. This was the day Cristiano Ronaldo showed them who was truly the boss. A rivalry between Real Madrid and Juventus is never gentle, but this chapter was different. Zidane, a footballing genius who had once shared the Ballon d'Or stage with Ronaldo, now stood on the sidelines as the maestro guiding Real Madrid. Buffon, the timeless Italian goalkeeper admired by the world, had faced Ronaldo many times before, but on this night, he would face a version of County Route 7 that felt carved from fire and inevitability. Juventus came into the match with passion, hunger, and belief. Their fans roared with the confidence of a team that had dominated Italy for years. Yet in the middle of all the noise, Ronaldo stood calm like a warrior who already knew how the night would unfold. From the first whistle, you could see it in his movements, the sharp turns, the precision, the hunger in each sprint. Ronaldo wasn't just playing, he was hunting. The Juventus defense knew it, too. Chiellini and Barzagli, two of the most experienced defenders of their generation, looked unsettled every time Ronaldo touched the ball. His presence alone stretched the entire backline, pulling players out of position, creating gaps, threatening danger with every step. Zidane watched from the touchline, arms folded, eyes locked on his star. He knew when Ronaldo had that look in his eyes, something spectacular was coming. The first goal arrived like a warning shot, a message to Juventus that the storm had begun. A simple cross into the box turned into disaster for the Italian champions when Ronaldo slipped through the defense and poked the ball past Buffon with clinical coldness. Buffon barely moved. It was the kind of finish that looked easy, but only the greatest scorer in Champions League history makes it feel that way. The stadium froze for a moment before erupting in shock. Ronaldo didn't celebrate wildly, he simply pointed to the sky, calm, almost as if he knew this was just the beginning. But what happened next became one of the most iconic moments in football history, one that would be replayed for decades, studied by young players, and marveled at by fans around the world. A moment that VSP7 Football Extra exists to highlight, when Cristiano Ronaldo defied gravity, shattered expectations, and delivered a masterpiece that stunned even Zidane and Buffon. The second goal is now folklore. Dani Carvajal drifted into the right side of the penalty area. He looked up, saw Ronaldo lurking near the penalty spot, and floated a cross that seemed slightly behind the Portuguese star. For any ordinary player, the chance would have been impossible. But Cristiano Ronaldo is not ordinary. As the ball rose, Ronaldo turned, planted one foot, and launched himself into the air with a leap so high that his waist met the level of a defender's head. His body twisted like a coiled spring. Time slowed. His right boot cut through the air with perfect technique, connecting with the ball in a bicycle kick that was so clean, so powerful, and so precise that Buffon didn't even move. The ball rocketed into the bottom corner. Buffon, a man who had saved millions of shots in his life, could only watch it pass. The Juventus crowd, known for their passion and fierce loyalty, went silent for a split second. And then, in a gesture that defines football class, they rose to applaud Cristiano Ronaldo. An away player, the man scoring against their team. But the moment transcended rivalry, it belonged to football itself. Zidane doubled back, putting his hands on his head with disbelief. Even he, who had seen Ronaldo score hundreds of goals, understood that he had just witnessed something supernatural. Buffon, with pain in his eyes yet admiration in his heart, looked at Ronaldo with a mix of respect and surrender. You could feel it, the acknowledgement that greatness had just walked into his house and performed a miracle. The bicycle kick sent shockwaves around the world. It became the face of the Champions League that season. Journalists restarted debates about Ronaldo being the greatest ever. Young players watched it over and over, studying every detail, the jump, the timing, the body control, the courage to even attempt such a shot. This is where the educational value of VSP7 Football Extra shines. This goal wasn't luck, wasn't improvisation. It was the product of decades of training, discipline, and an obsession with perfection. Ronaldo had practiced that exact movement thousands of times, failing, improving, repeating, until it became second nature. That night in Turin, the world simply saw the final result of years of work. As if the match needed anything more, Ronaldo went on to assist Marcelo for the third goal, crushing Juventus and sealing Real Madrid's path to another Champions League triumph. But the night wasn't about the scoreline. It wasn't about the semifinal. It was about a new chapter added to the legend of Cristiano Ronaldo. It was about standing tall against two football giants, Zidane, the mastermind coach and former icon, and Buffon, the immortal goalkeeper, and proving, once again, that he was the boss. When the final whistle blew, Juventus players walked off with disbelief written on their faces. But amidst the disappointment, something beautiful happened. Buffon approached Ronaldo, shook his hand, and whispered a few words only the two legends will ever know. Whatever he said, it carried the weight of respect carved through years of battles. Ronaldo nodded. There was no arrogance in that moment, only two titans acknowledging each other. Days later, the football world could not stop talking. Analysts called it the greatest Champions League goal ever scored. Coaches used it as an example of technique and positioning. Young strikers studied Ronaldo's movement, how he anticipated the cross, how he adjusted his body, how he launched himself with absolute confidence. Fans created animations, edits, tributes. For VSP7 Football Extra, this was the perfect type of football story, one that inspires players to improve, learn, and chase greatness. Because that's the purpose of football education, to take moments like these and turn them into lessons. The deeper story behind that bicycle kick goes far beyond the highlight. It shows the essence of Cristiano Ronaldo's mentality, the obsession to be better than yesterday, the desire to push limits, the courage to attempt the impossible, and the belief that no stage is too big. Zidane, who himself scored one of the greatest Champions League goals ever in 2002, stood speechless. Buffon, a legendary goalkeeper who had conquered every striker of his era, was beaten by something even he had never seen before. And Ronaldo stood between them, not boasting, not shouting, but letting his football speak the loudest. For young players watching across the world, there is something powerful to learn from that night. Ronaldo didn't become a legend by chance. He built himself through discipline, sacrifice, and constant self-improvement. His ability to perform under pressure, his athleticism, his technique, and his mental strength, all of these are qualities that aspiring athletes can study, understand, and try to adopt. Football is not just about talent, it's about work. Ronaldo proved that greatness is crafted, not gifted. The Juventus fans' standing ovation became part of the legend. It symbolized something rare in sport, respect for pure excellence. Even Buffon, the hero of Turin, knew that sometimes the beauty of the game must be admired, no matter which side you're on. Zidane called the goal one of the best in history. Journalists wrote that it was a moment that belongs in museums. Players around the world sent messages of admiration. And Ronaldo, he simply thanked the fans and moved on to the next challenge. That is what makes the story complete. The goal was legendary, but the mentality behind it was even greater. Ronaldo didn't stop to celebrate for weeks. He didn't get lost in the applause. He kept training, kept playing, kept scoring. Because for him, greatness is not a single moment, it's a lifestyle. Today, when football fans look back on that night in Turin, they don't just remember a goal. They remember the feeling, the disbelief, the applause, the electric silence before the explosion of cheers. They remember Buffon frozen, Zidane stunned, and Ronaldo suspended in the air like a superhero breaking the laws of physics. They remember the moment Cristiano Ronaldo showed everyone, players, coaches, legends, fans, who was the boss. And for platforms like VSP7 Football Extra, it remains one of the most powerful examples of what makes football magical. This is why editing, researching, and presenting these moments matters. It teaches, inspires, and keeps the sport alive for the next generation. Young players can learn from Ronaldo's timing, technique, mentality, and ability to deliver when it matters most. This is educational football storytelling at its finest. The day Cristiano Ronaldo showed Zidane and Buffon who was the boss was more than a match, more than a highlight, more than a goal. It was a reminder that legends are not born, they are made in moments of courage, ambition, and brilliance. And as long as football lives, that bicycle kick will remain one of its greatest masterpieces, forever echoing through stadiums, screens, and the hearts of fans around the world.